What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an EP review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new EP from the band Bloodsoaked, entitled Religious Apocalypse. This is released on Comatose Music. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very old school, brutal style of death metal. This is a project formed by a guy by the name of Peter Hasselbrack. He is the one and only main man behind this project. He does and plays everything: vocals, guitars, drum programming. He is a very, very multi-tiered instrumentalist and vocalist, and for a very good while now, he has made a very well-known name for himself within one-man brutal death metal. Not only for the kind of music that he puts out, but for the tireless work ethic he continues to bring. And within that period of time, he's released 3 full-length albums: Brutally Butchered, Sadistic Deeds, Grotesque Memories, and the previous full-length that came out in 2011 from Bloodsoaked, entitled The Death of Hope. I mean, very, very good, simple sort of death metal styles going on here. Very reminiscent of old school style death metal, pretty much in the vein of, you can think of stuff like maybe Obituary or Massacre, or even early Death to a certain extent. That's the kind of approach that Peter took with this band, and pretty much made it all his own, and it worked out very well here, and pretty much a consistent body of work that he's put out, in addition to in addition to playing live and just being a very, very relentless hard worker. Since the last album was put out by Peter Hasselbrack, some things have been changed in the camp. There was an addition of a new guitar player to make things just a little bit more heavier, and for a good little while, Bloodsoaked was running as a two-piece. Now it's pretty much back to square one. But for this release in question that we're going to discuss here, I believe there was a second guitarist involved. It's been quite a while since I had heard anything new from Bloodsoaked, and I was really interested to hear what was going to be presented with this EP. And pretty much we have this new offering entitled Religious Apocalypse. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 34 minutes in length, and pretty much this release comprises of 3 brand new tracks, a handful of covers, and a majority of live cuts. But for the focus of this review, I'm going to base my focus upon the 3 brand new tracks that are presented here. They're the first 3 tracks on the record: Devouring, Abomination, and the title track, Religious Apocalypse. Pretty much, if you're familiar with what Peter has been doing with this band, you already are going to feel very comfortable putting on this release. And pretty much you can tell that this guy is a really, really genius sort of person when it comes to crafting very heavy and memorable riffs. Very, very catchy from the get-go. The opening track kind of reminds me a little bit of current-day Mortician. I want to say early 2003 to even earlier back than that Mortician. That's the kind of vibe I'm picking up when I'm listening to certain aspects of the riffs and the drum programming. I think it works out very well. Then you get to Abomination, where things become a little bit more groove-laden and a lot more thoughtfully paced. I think that the way that that's handled on that track sounds really good. And then, of course, you get the title track. Just a lot of maddening creativity going on with that one particular track. Pretty much, Bloodsoaked isn't breaking any new grounds, but yet with the 3 tracks that are presented here, I think they sound really solid and definitely a major, major step up from the previous release. And honestly, the fact that it's only 3 tracks is definitely, as far as the new tracks are concerned, I think they're really solid. I kind of wish there were more new songs to be heard here. I think the musicianship is pretty top-notch. I think the drum machine is handled very well here. Of course, you can easily tell that this is a drum machine, but the way that it's programmed and the way that it's handled, it works very well to Bloodsoaked's advantage. I'm appreciating just the overall pace of things. Once again, going back to the riffs, very, very catchy, very heavy, and very ugly sounding. I love the way the guitars are structured here. Of course, you recognize Peter's vocal variety, kind of a raspy, gravelly sort of growl. Very well worded, very, very well understood. He definitely is a great, great vocalist and can handle things perfectly. But then we get on to the filler of this EP. I would definitely consider this filler because to me, Religious Apocalypse is the first 3 tracks. Everything else is just bonus material or goodies or whatever. We got 2 cover tracks. This really freaked me out when I heard about it. He did covers for the bands Cinderella and Rat. 80s hair metal. It just felt so weird and so freaky to hear Peter do death growls over instrumentation that could be very reminiscent of early 1980s hair metal. And of course, with the respective tracks Shake Me and You're in Love, I just think it's very crazy that he even opted to do these kind of tracks, but more power to him. I think it elicits somewhat of a smirk when listening to those tracks, but yet I still think it's ballsy that he went on through with it and did it. I think it's really entertaining. I don't know how some others may feel about that, but I think it's really entertaining that he decided to be ballsy and do these sort of covers. Of course, I'll stick to the newer tracks from Bloodsoaked, but still, these are fun to listen to. And of course, you get a little bit of live tracks, pretty much a song from Sadistic Deeds, Grotesque Memories, and a handful of tracks from The Death of Hope. Of course, he is as powerful live as he is in the studio. Trust me, I've witnessed this firsthand. Saw him in 2011 at the 5th Gore Growlers Ball. Very, very fun live performance, and he definitely showcases that he can handle himself live without any studio recordings in front of a crowd. He definitely makes it work very well. So, overall, this is a release that is definitely geared towards the Bloodsoaked fan. If anything, get it for the 3 brand new tracks. I think the 3 new tracks are really, really fun. Definitely makes me want to listen to more new Bloodsoaked, and I'm optimistic there'll be more new Bloodsoaked in the future. As for the rest of the stuff, it's up to you whether how you feel about it. It's interesting. The cover tracks are interesting. The live tracks are pretty good. It's a solid release, but it's definitely for the Bloodsoaked fans. So, I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Comatose web store where you can purchase a physical copy of this release. And with the exception of the live tracks, the 3 brand new tracks and the 2 covers are officially streaming on Peter's YouTube channel. So you can stream 5 of the tracks on there on his YouTube channel to decide what you think. So again, the release is Religious Apocalypse by Bloodsoaked. This is released on Comatose Music. Definitely check this out if you're a fan of one-man brutal death metal or Bloodsoaked. And for a score, I'm feeling a very strong 7 out of 10. The 3 new tracks are definitely what make this definitely worth owning. Everything else, it does feel like filler, but it only makes me want to hear more new Bloodsoaked. And I know Peter can still bring the goods, so anyway, support Bloodsoaked. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for joining my channel, and until the next time, Army Ho out.